you're ready for this.
Gonna be fun.
You will not stand in my way.
Frostborn. Hunger. This pleases me.
I do not fear you, mortal.
Your soul shall be mine.
Don't make me laugh.
Needs a brew? Oh, I do. Feel a shredding, baby. Let the battle begin.
Hello, welcome to the 40th episode of Trollin HGC, a Heroes of the Storm podcast focused on esports and a member of the Trolls GG Entertainment Network. I'm your host, LiQuiuD, even with the brain freeze, and I'm joined today as usual by Bahgz. How's it going, man?
What's going on? Are you enjoying ice cream or something over there?
I don't know what just happened, man. I'm a little bit of a mess today, but that's all right. It's all good. And we are also joined by Trolls GG writer, and I have to thank my wife for recommending you, and I'm so happy that you write for us, Anne Elise.
You made a huge mistake when you listened to your wife that one time, and only that one time. You'll be regretting it probably for the rest of the time that you keep doing this podcast.
No. I'm really happy. I really enjoy your articles, especially the nothing wrong with today's opinion piece, but I love the buy sell articles that you've been doing.
I would like to do more of those. It's a matter of finding the time to write and the motivation to write. I am not fucking around on Twitter. So, sorry, I'm not screwing around on Twitter. When I say that I have 3 jobs, I have 3 jobs, and it kills me. And there's so much more I want to do. There's a reason why I'm still in bronze. I don't play enough games in a season to get out of bronze, and it is hell. I need to talk to you after the show about coming on Nexus Trolls, because we need to talk about how to improve drafting in bronze and silver, because it is so bad. There are so many easy things that can be done to fix the problem.
The ironic thing is I think it's bad at every level. I don't even think it's just bronze and silver. It's just worse in bronze and silver.
This is true, because a couple of times I've played in after-show games, I have watched members of our community and members of our team do dumb things in drafting, like looking at a map and saying, ooh, I can play this character. No! Pick roles and stick to roles. Because when you do that, then you are actually setting yourself up for success. I think it was Cavalier Guest who had best explained this when he said, tank, bruiser, healer, damage, flex. That's what you need. And if everybody would just agree to that, we would find ourselves to be in such a better place in Hero League. But this is not to be talking about Hero League. You have called me on to talk about HGC, my addiction, my heroin, my crack, my cocaine, my acid, all wrapped up into one in a nice shiny bottle of 12-year-old single malt scotch. Let's down it and go.
I have to be honest. I think you challenged me for how much you watch HGC, because I watch a lot.
I watch it, and here's a little secret. I have cheat watched HGC at work in ways that I am not supposed to, and I cannot describe what I am not supposed to be doing. But I have cheat watched HGC at work. If I could cheat watch HGC at all of my works, I would totally cheat watch HGC at all of my works. But I have only cheat watched HGC at the one work of the 3, which is job number 2, which I'm not going to talk about in any kind of detail because I love my job and I don't want to get fired.
There you go. I will say that you tweet regularly during games, and I have not mastered that ability. Like, I just can't do it. Like, I watch the game,
except for this weekend. I did not. I was home all weekend watching HGC, and I was not tweeting this weekend because I was actually playing in a Hearthstone tournament, and that kind of took priority because I was trying very desperately to win that, and I am so embarrassed. I am so embarrassed. I lost more than half of my games with Priest, and that is, for someone who's been maining Priest since beta, that hurts. That feels really bad.
Yeah, that can't feel
For
good.
as good as Priest is supposed to be right now,
Yeah. And
by the
Priest
way,
is
I've
supposed to
never
be
looked
strong.
better. I'm looking at the screen. I've never looked better. For those
I
of you
love that
who are-
tier
who are-
armor, by the way.
That is not tier armor.
Really?
That
It
is
looks
not tier
like
armor.
it.
That is Burning Crusade gear that you buy from the vendors
I thought that
in
used
Burning
to be...
Crusade. That is
thought it was
not
a tier.
tier gear.
Huh,
That is
okay.
Burning Crusade armor that you buy from all vendors that you have to have exalted rep with for all the Burning Crusade vendors, and you go around and pick it up. I don't remember the exact name of it. The headpiece is tier gear, but the rest of it is just what I think a Blood Knight should look like.
Okay.
So that was my main in World of Warcraft for 6 years. My Blood Elf Holy Paladin, because there is only one spec for Paladin. It is Holy.
Oh no!
The
Wait.
green-
All right. That we disagree on. Sorry.
Retribution Paladins are just bad. If you're a Ret Paladin, you're a bad person. Everything
Nope.
on the forums about Ret Paladins is correct. Twat Paladins are almost acceptable.
That's
But
that's
this is
me.
not- This is not the clear case of there's only one spec for a class. But that's my other main, the Warlock. There's only one Warlock spec. It's Destruction. If you're playing Affliction or you're playing Demonology, you are wrong and you should feel bad.
Oh no! Wait, what if you play Demonology only because you like the theme of...
Liquid.
All right.
Yeah. You don't summon your demon to be a pet or a companion. You have a fetish. You summon your demon to sacrifice him and steal his power, okay? That is why Destruction is the proper Warlock spec. I summon my demon, I kill my demon, I steal his power. I bring him back because he doesn't really die. He just goes back to the Twisting Nether, and he's still loyal to me because I have enslaved him. This is the proper Warlock war. If you have any questions about this, we can bring in Ro Wow, and he will tell you Destruction is the only spec. And this is the one thing that Ro and I actually agree on. If you watch some of my
'cause you
interactions
guys-
with Ro on Twitter, we agree on almost nothing else.
No, you do not. No, you do not.
Although Ro followed me today, I'm flattered and shocked. So
You
I'm
made
thrilled
it.
that Ro followed me, but yeah. So
That means you've
I've been
arrived.
following for 2 or 3 years, and he finally followed me back. I'm like, yay! I've been graced by the all-seeing eye of Blizzard podcast. Ooh.
There you go. All right, we're gonna actually move forward because I can talk about this all
we
night.
have a podcast to
But
do?
we have a real podcast to do that's not related to WoW, so we're gonna move on. But before we move
Okay.
on, Bahgz is gonna tell us about Patreon.
Patreon is where you can donate your monies to us, and we can take said monies to improve the product that we currently provide for you and try and provide more stuff. Currently, we are at $28 a month, which puts us past our first goal, which is now, which was $25. So that means after show games, which will take part after tonight and again tomorrow night after the Nexus Trolls. And for those of you that are contributing, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate your patronage. And for those of you considering, check out the stretch goals that we have up there at patreon.com/trollsgg and consider donating $1, $2, $3, $5, or even $10 a month to become a chieftain of the Trolls.gg network. And
Chieftain
that
Super Dave.
is that is Patreon. That's what we've got going on.
There are a lot of starving writers working for the site. We don't make any money off of this. We'd like to make some money. No, I'm kidding. Donate to the
There are
site.
definitely
It's good.
there are definitely a lot of starving writers working for this
I'm
site.
not starving. I'm not starving. And one of the reasons why I'm not on screen is because I'm not starving. So,
There you go. Actually, so one of the things we do use our Patreon money for, and we used this last year and we'll use it again this year, is to give away swag at BlizzCon. If Blizzard ever announces the BlizzCon dates, it's really weird that it's April and we haven't heard anything about it yet. But we use that. We have giveaways. Bahgz. Daz and I are already talking about ideas that we haven't gone over with Bahgz yet, but we have some. Daz has got some good ideas cooked up that should be fun for us to give away this year at BlizzCon. The other thing is our Troll of the Week this week. So if you've been paying attention, trolls.gg/bush-league, we created a little league with some members of the show, any of the Troll shows, also with some members of the Gank Bush Squad show and some fans called Bush League. First games were actually last night. I'm sorry to say that the team I'm on lost. But Stixa Cast, both of those games, you can head over to twitch.tv/Stixa to watch either of those games as video on demand. Please don't watch my game. I played horribly. But Yep, I'm moving.
Did you do the right thing? Did you draft Murky?
No, we did not draft Murky.
That's
But
why you lost.
all 5 of us
You
showed
draft
Murky, so that
Murky,
should
you
count. All right, so check out Stixa, and thank you, Stixa, for everything that you do. He casts a lot of games for us. He was one of the casters for Creators of the Storm, and he cast last night for Bush League, so check him out. All right, now that all the pre-show amble is out of the way, how about some news?
Let's do it.
Tonight on the Trolls.gg podcast network, Trollin HGC proudly presents Heroes Esports News, Notes, and Drama with your hosts, LiQuiuD and Bahgz.
All right, so a little bit of news, not a ton. I'm going to cover the bottom 2 items, and I'm going to let Bahgz cover the top item, and just jump in when you want to. But Prismaticism has joined Simplicity full-time.
And this is the best thing for Simplicity. Priz is actually going to do very well on Simplicity. He really, last year, grew a lot as a player, and I was really kind of surprised that he got cut. At least I think he got cut from Team 12. Did he get cut, or what did he leave?
He got
he
asked to
was
leave.
He was let go. Yeah. It was a weird situation. So Yip Boss has been on the show and he's talked about it on the show before. They were originally just shooting for a Glaurung replacement, and they were just shooting for Dansky, and Prismat originally was going to stay on the team. And then Cure kind of came out of the woodworks and wanted to join the team after his contract with Team Freedom ended. And they just decided to make this, they thought about it, and ultimately decided to let Prismat go and have Cure.
Here's the thing. Go back to 2016 and watch Prismat play on all the teams he's on. He is clearly the weak link on all those teams in 2016. Come forward to 2017 and being on Glaurung's team and being with that team, he improved so much. His position improved. And his switch, I'm not thrilled about his switch to the solo laner, but it has to be the solo laner because that's what Araho is doing. So that's the role he has to fill. So he's not in his natural role of range DPS, but I was really impressed both weeks in his role in the solo lane. He's got a little bit more to go on that, but this is really good for Simplicity. It's not going to help them right now. They're going to need some more time for this roster to gel. But Simplicity will be able to make a push for BlizzCon if they keep this roster together. If they roster apocalypse this roster, Simplicity is done.
I don't know.
If this roster goes down at the midseason brawl, this roster is done.
All right, I have a couple of comments. First, I agree that Prismaticism is way better than he was when he started.
Much.
Even when he replaced Chu, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. And he wasn't the best.
I felt horrible about that.
Even at that point, he wasn't great, but he grew into the role. And I feel like by the time they let him go, it was a huge bummer that they let him go. But my problem is, I still have 2 problems. One, the change around him playing the solo lane, I feel like is just not, that's not right for him. Maybe he'll grow into it.
That's what it is.
Right. Exactly. It is what it is, right? There's not much they can change about it. But I feel like he's not the right solo laner. The other problem I have is I feel like that team needs to make probably one more change to really push for BlizzCon. And that's
the change they need to make is a change they're never going to make.
Yes.
They're never, ever going to split up CAF and K1. And I think here's all the credit in the world to K1 Pro. His transition from range DPS to support has been fantastic. He's actually a really impactful support player. He's nowhere near top support, but he's not losing them games.
Right.
But CAF as tank, I don't know who would need to go from this, but it's actually one of them is the weak link. And please, Simplicity, don't hate me. I love you guys. But one of them is the problem, and I can't figure out which one.
Okay. So we agree then. We're in agreement. Yes. Cool. That's how I feel about it too. And then also we have Jin moving over to No Tomorrow full time.
Oh, this is great too.
No, I actually really dig this change. I think
is the best thing. This is so the best thing because
Yes.
Equinox should never be a tank.
Yes. Thank you, God.
Never.
We have a
Never.
tank that has
Equinox
fallen from the
is-
skies.
Equinox is a melee assassin. He shouldn't even be the offlaner. He should be a melee assassin in the rotation. He should be playing Kerrigan. He should be playing body light, damage high, melee assassins, doing crazy things, making us all scream at our TVs.
Yes. 100% yes. Thank you.
And
Yes.
having a tank player just makes No Tomorrow. No Tomorrow is still going to the Crucible. 100% they're going to the Crucible.
That's what I'm worried about. And I think Simplicity is too.
Fine.
I think
Simplicity is not going to the Crucible. LFM's going to the Crucible.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I was thinking I got that back in my head. Yes. LFM's going to
There's
the
a
Crucible.
possibility that either LFM or No Tomorrow gets out of the Crucible, but I don't think it's going to happen. We'll talk about that when we get to predictions. But
Okay.
Jin has some problems though. His first problem is that he cannot figure out what his main tank should be because he's playing Hero League tanks, and it wasn't until he played Garrosh that he really was impactful as a tank. In his first 2 games in HGC, he went to the mid fight and died first. You can't have that as a tank.
No, you can't have that.
Happen.
No. But I think part of that is him settling in. So I think some of that'll fix itself in the next week or two. The problem is it's so close to the end of the phase when they're going to go to the Crucible that it's like, okay, well, you got a little bit of time. Hope you guys can survive the Crucible.
They'll probably survive the Crucible. No Tomorrow is full of a lot of veterans. The real problem for No Tomorrow is the loss of Jason. Jason is a player who is always kind of under the radar, but he has, and I don't want to say he has Psalm level impact on his team, but he has Psalm level impact on it. He's not as good a player as Psalm is, but he makes that kind of impact for his team, and the loss of Jason really, really hurts them. Casanova really needs that second punch to his first punch for their compositions to work, and I feel like they don't have that right now, mostly because they're still having Equinox solo.
Yes. I think if they move some things around a little bit more, they can get that, but it's just going to come down to who plays where and does what. I think they can work it out as a team. It's just a question of will they work it out in time to what?
Can we be honest about something, though? No Tomorrow was better off with Casanova on tank. I don't know why they moved Casanova back off tank. They were so good in the second half last year.
We talked to Jay Shrite about that actually, and he said that Cass just felt more comfortable and more impactful playing the carry role. Yeah. So that's why.
Girl.
But yes, I agree. They were way better with him on the tank.
And he was great. He was great at the job, but he felt like they were getting better results in scrims, and he felt more comfortable playing a different role. So that's why they went that route.
Right. All right. HGC Horizon Clash details, man. What do you know?
All right, so basically the Horizon Clash is the wild card game to qualify for the midseason brawl. It's going to be played in Taiwan. It's between the Taiwanese region and Southeast Asia. The qualifier for the matches start on April 14th. Ultimately, the top 2 teams from these qualifiers, so the top team from Taiwan and the top team from Southeast Asia, will face off in a single best of 7 in Taipei in the Blizzard Arena for the right to play at the midseason brawl for a measly $5K.
This is how you really feel. That price pool.
Well, so this is similar to what's gonna
cover the travel expenses for the full roster of 5, maybe.
So this is what's gonna be. So we're gonna see something similar between HGC ANZ and
the
HGC
ANZ and LATAM wild card. Sounds way cooler, where they're gonna have like a best of 4 playoff, top 2 teams from each region, like duking it out in Rio or something, with on the beach.
On the beach.
They're gonna set up tables in the land, literally
on the beach.
Yeah,
it's gonna be awesome. They're gonna film it. They're gonna be in their shorts. It's gonna be tan bodies everywhere. It's gonna be wonderful.
Yeah, a bunch of Jay Shites duking it out.
No, have you seen the rest of those?
Is now regretting his move to North America because he could be on the beach in Rio.
And instead he's in Vancouver, and it's still winter there.
Wait, I wanna throw this out there. He's getting paid now, so I think he's better off where he is. Just saying.
Not everything in life is about money, LiQuid, okay? Yeah.
I want the man to get paid for his work. I don't think that's too much to ask.
And some of us want to live in Rio.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess if you want to. We all have different priorities, man. All right.
So tired of watching, dude. It snowed. We got 3 inches of snow again yesterday. Like, I'm over it. It's okay. It's April. It's been 6 months. I'm done.
It's supposed to
And
snow
yet,
here
if you're
on
living
Sunday.
in California, you're still roasting with wildfires. So
Right? It's. I hate weather. All right. Any other news items that we missed? Or are we ready to jump into some results?
Let's jump into the results. I don't think there was anything else really. Oh, wait, whoa. Before we pan away, I should have brought this up, and I'm sorry. I didn't. So I liked both the signings here. Like, I liked that Prismat's joining Simplicity full time, and Jin is joining No Tomorrow full time. I think these were good moves for teams that needed to make moves, but they only happened because the teams were forced to do it. Like, Urho was suspended, Jason quit or something. We don't really know the reason why he left the team, but like, I thought it was great. Like, should we have a transfer period between the clashes? Because I talked about this on the weekly Blizz with Bahgz, and we went into length about it. And I think that for any team, like the way, what my solution was, like, if you don't qualify for the clash, like if you're in the bottom 4, you're allowed to make a 1-person roster swap, like 1 move, just it. That's it.
No way.
And I think after 5 weeks, plus all the scrimming before the season starts, that's at that point that is a good opportunity to make a player move, and just a single one, nothing too drastic.
Let me tell you why I disagree, and I think I heard Anne Elise say no as well. I disagree because this totally hosed 2 open division teams. Completely hosed. Those teams have struggled since Prismat and Jin left. Both of them.
I mean, those teams have been roster swapping and doing crazy stuff since like every single week. I was talking about it. I was talking about it with Bahgz last night. It was like every single week, like XD.
Not both,
like,
man.
XD, 1 week XD won a competition, won a cup, right? Then they didn't play the next week because they weren't a team anymore, and then they were back but with different players, and I'm just like, that drives me crazy.
See,
so,
look. Now, two things.
I agree, but seriously, the open division is not the reason for this. The reason for this is it gives the bottom teams a competitive advantage the top teams don't have. That does not create parity. That creates an unfair. I already said it's an unfair advantage. So you can't have different rules for different teams. You can't get rewarded by tanking your last match to avoid going to the mid-season to the Western Clash because you're afraid to face Dignitas because you're the number 4 team out of NA. You can't have that. You've got to have the same rules across the board. All the teams have to participate in the same rules. And to give that advantage to the teams that don't go to the MSB is to say, hey, you didn't qualify, but here's your trophy.
Right?
We really don't want that.
So, all right, 2 things. One, that was my second point. Yes, I agree. You can't give bottom tier teams an advantage because they didn't qualify for something, right? I have a couple of points too. But first of all, XD didn't change. XD was like their group. They didn't change until Jin left. SMV is a different story. SMV has been all over the place, and I'm not going to try and defend them. They've been crazy. They did what they did. It is what it is. But also you have what Anne Elise said. You can't do that and give an advantage to, oh, you didn't qualify for the clash. Cool. Here's your advantage. You also like it just the one change that they have in there right now, I think is just enough. If you start trying to change every 5 weeks, you're never going to have the level of cohesion and what's the word I'm thinking of, where the teams are like really good competition that we're looking for in a solid league, right? Look at League. League doesn't let you change that often for a reason. And it's arguably the #1 MOBA esports franchise. So I think where it is fine. Go ahead. What are we missing?
We're missing that we don't have subs in this league.
Yes,
and
that's the problem.
The subs should be contracted, paid positions, as should coaches. This should be okay. When HGC got announced for its changes for 2017, which gave $100,000 for being the team, which is presumably $20,000 per player, which isn't a lot, but it's enough so that they can actually live. That only includes the 5 players. It doesn't include managers, coaches, and subs. They need to pay for those positions because those positions are the things that actually keep the team going. You don't have to have multiple subs, but just a sub, a flex who can come in and do different things, who can sub into a game. It's like, okay, we need this for this game for this map. We're pulling somebody out. It's not their strongest map. It changes it. It makes the strategy better.
Yes.
Sub, and paid subs. That would solve this problem.
I wouldn't even necessarily call it a sub. I would call it a 6-man roster for a 5-man game. So you can only play 5 players, but you have a 6-man roster. It's up to you who you're playing and who you're benching each individual. Maybe not each individual round, but definitely at the very least, each individual match. Right? I would think round,
you would do it. But I mean, I've already argued for this. Like during the offseason when we kind of gave our wish list of things that we'd like to see. That was my biggest thing. I just said a 6 paid spot where you can choose to use it on a coach or a 6 person on the roster, and it would go from map to map, right? So like,
right.
You say like you have a particular strategy you like to run on a particular map, and you have a certain you can swap players from map to map. And obviously you're locked during the game into what you got. But it would be, I don't know. It just seems like it's a pipe dream at this point. I don't know if it's going to happen. And the other problem we would probably run into with that, honestly, is I'm not sure the teams would know how to manage that just yet. Here's something we're seeing in Overwatch League right now. They have 12-man rosters. But predominantly, only 6 players are playing in every single game. They hardly ever sub players in and out. Most of the bench players are just that, bench players, and they're getting paid to watch the starters play. And I think we'd see that with Heroes too. Like they have a 5-man roster of the players that they feel like click the best, play together the best, and would hardly sub players in and out. Seriously.
Well, and Argy's right. And Yipos said the same thing. Getting practice time for that 6th player would be the biggest problem. Right? Like, then you have to sit somebody else to get practice time for the 6th player. The 6th player ends up getting rusty. Like, it's a difficult situation, and we don't have a solution, but I definitely think that the 6th paid spot is ultimately what, and it starts off as you pick. You want a coach, you want a manager, you want a 6th player, that's up to you. You can carry a roster of 6 now. And then the year after, it turns into, okay, we're going to pay for 7 now, but only you're limited to a 6-player roster. And the next one can be, whatever you coach or manager, right? But Blizzard will get to the point where they'll pay for 7 people, and maybe you work it out. But like Dorsch just pointed out, that's $1.2 million for the whole league if you get to 1 sub and 1 coach. So, it's interesting, right? It's something to think about. It definitely solves this problem because having changes to the team,
it's never going to happen.
No, it won't.
It's a flat now.
Because it's our
it can't happen. We love it, but let's be realistic. This is one of those many things that we want to happen in our favorite esport that is never going to happen because there were only the spike this weekend was like 19,000 viewers, and that's when Warcraft was hosting.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So that's where we're
that's
at.
The problem, right?
So before we transition to the results, to summarize, you guys, you think the way the transfers are fine? I stick with what I say. I don't think I was swayed by either of you. I fully think that each team having, the 4 bottom teams being able to move 1 player during the break for the Clash. It's like a 4-week break. It's plenty of time to transition a new player in. I think it'd be a great thing. I think it would encourage parity. I don't think people would tank to avoid playing Dignitas in the Clash. It's guaranteed money. Kids love to travel. I highly doubt that they would clash just to move 1. They would tank just to move 1 player. But
ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Bahgz is in favor of handing out free trophies.
All right,
I'm in favor of parity. The
free
NFL,
trophies. Got it.
the NFL has made a lot of moves to encourage parity. That's why we barely have repeat champions there. There's constantly teams.
That's such a bad example.
Teams going from being bad in that league to being very good the next year.
That's a bad example.
I'm a Detroit Lions fan. No, that's not true.
Well, sometimes you're a Patriots fan and sometimes you're a Lions fan. I can say that. Or it could be worse. You could be a Browns fan, right?
Oh God, the
It
poor
could
Browns.
be worse. I could live in Cleveland, and that would be worse than just about anything I can imagine, having been there many times.
All right.
My
On
wife,
that
who was
note,
born in Cleveland, probably heard that. So
we're gonna go ahead and jump into some results.
Let's do it.
It's a 1-for-1 trade. It's a 1-for-1 trade as we once again have the Dragon Blade used on the side of Genji. He's trying that in. Dashes out. Sail yellow.
That was just about the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's a dance party and you're invited.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to HGC Western Clash.
Clips this week, so I hope they're good. I didn't curate them very well. I just went for the
That's all right.
top voted ones.
Everybody knows that
They're
you
good
didn't
ones.
curate them very well, and they're just looking at them now. All right. So ANZ, starting off with ANZ. I'll never say ANZ because I'm not a European. Deal with it. Week 5 started last
you can be
night.
Canadian.
Yeah, I won't do that either. I work with enough Canadians. Week 5 started well, technically it started today, but because they're ahead of us, it started last night our time. A couple of games were played. We still have the same top 3 as we did last week. Nomia, Outlaws Gaming, and Crimson Gaming still sitting in the top. It does not look like that's going to change, which means we'll see those 2 of those teams make it to Rio for that fabled beach playing tournament. Beach playing, right?
Won't
That's
be
what we're
seen on
calling this.
Twitch because they'll get a flag
mean-
for inappropriate content.
Listen, there's a beach in Rio and there's a beach in Sydney. So either way, like
Either
they're
way.
playing on a beach where it's gorgeous out.
Beaches in Sydney are gorgeous. I can't confirm that. Jumping over to China. China started. It's running. If you get time during the day to check, all right, hold on. I just need to be real for a minute. There's entirely too much HGC content for me to absorb right now. We have China during the day, and then HGC EU Open Division starts like immediately after, basically. And then HGC NA Open Division starts after that. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday is Korea, Europe, and NA Premier League, and ANZ's running. Like I am doing my best, but I have not caught all the games that I wish to caught. And work's been crazy.
You're never
so
going to catch all the games. Stop trying.
I don't know
You
how
hire
not
writers
to.
You hire writers so we can cover things for you. I called
yes.
first dibs on NA and EU, so no one else gets to cover that.
I will say that honestly, when we get down to the Open Division, I'll thank them again. But Hoofit and Super Dave totally helped me because I did not have time to watch Open Division last night for NA or today for EU. So they both hooked me up with like cliff notes, so I'll sound like I know what I'm talking about when we get there. I did check out some.
Look, you're the boss. You're not supposed to be doing all the work.
Yeah, but I still love it, so I got to do it because I love it.
True.
So I caught some Chinese games. CE still looks really, really strong. It's interesting. At one point last year, I think Bahgz said in China there's a number 1, and then there's like a 2 and 3, and then there's everybody else. That may have been Korea, but it seems to be shaping up that way in China right now too. CE is way in the front with SPT and the 1 kind of right behind them. And then, BTG's a little bit further down, and I keep hoping that BTG can just get it back together. Like, this is a team that went to BlizzCon. I need them to pull it back together, and they don't seem like they're going to be able to.
I just want to comment on the not important thing, but I think is cool is like RPG's got the brand new logo looking fly. BTG's even got a new logo.
Yes, they do.
I mean, it doesn't result in better results for them, but hey.
But they have
you
it,
know,
right? Well, and you know
looking
what that tells me, and it's weird to say this, but it tells me that
they care.
Yeah. So even though they, like, everybody portrays that China doesn't care about the game, and maybe they don't, right? Maybe this is really their B tier teams. Like, they're putting some money into it. It's a graphic designer. It's not that much money, but it's still something, right? So props to those guys over in China. They keep playing, and I keep trying to watch it, and I keep hoping for the day that China can stand up to Korea. It just doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon.
China used to be like ahead of EU and NA, and now they're like dead last.
I know.
Yeah, that was 2016. It's now 2018, and China, ever since the breakup of E-Star and what was the other team? Edward.
Yes.
Edward
Gaming?
Gaming?
EDG.
Edward
EDG.
Gaming.
Yep. Edward Gaming. Yep.
Yeah, and there's nothing left for China. I don't even bother trying to watch China because I'll watch it. I'll learn a lot about it. They'll get to BlizzCon. They'll have visa issues, and they'll be completely different teams.
Yes, and that's the problem. But I keep hoping that one year we will get Gold Club level China from 2016 to show up at BlizzCon, and I think it's a pipe dream. But this is the same person that keeps wishing Tempest would like pull their heads out of their ass and play better, and that Fnatic's gonna finally click and start winning EU games. So don't listen to me. What do I know? I have my favorites that I want to see happen, and it just doesn't seem working out for me.
It's okay, LiQuid. It'll eventually work out for you, and BTG will rise to the top of China, and they'll go apply for their visas, and magically their visas will all go through, and they'll go to BlizzCon, and the third place NA team will knock them out in the first round.
It's probably exactly what will happen.
I want that Kool-Aid. That seems like some good taste of Kool-Aid.
Moving over to Korea.
My Kool-Aid is very good. So
in Korea, we had something that really crushed my soul this weekend, and that was Gluck taking Tempest to 5 games.
Can you elaborate?
No, I don't think I can.
LiQuid, do you also have that $5 Tempest hexagon mount that you use in game?
I do indeed.
Because I have that.
I do.
And I'm with you here because I do love the way Tempest plays, and I'm a little disappointed in their Eastern Clash results. I was really happy that they were like challenging the top of Korea, and 5 to no, I'm done.
So I have a theory. So first of all, everything else in Korea went the way we expected it to. It was only that game, but I have a hypothesis. My hypothesis is that the Maiev meta that we live in today, Tempest can't play in. They just can't handle it. Because if you look at when they started losing, or not even the Maiev, I guess, because it happened at the Eastern Clash too, but like there was a shift, and I have to go back to tell you exactly where it was because I'm going blank right now. But there was a shift right before Eastern Clash, after all of the regular season games of Phase 1 Part 1 finished, and that shift, like Tempest has just never found its footing since that shift. You can see that when they're playing teams like Gluck. You can see that in the regular season when they're getting crushed by Ballistics and by why am I going blank?
KSV.
Well, no, but even at the Eastern Clash when they played they got crushed, right? So since that shift in the meta has occurred and we moved away from like the double support meta that was like the standard, they seem to not quite be able to click, and I don't know what specifically what's causing it.
Well, but we were already at the all of 2018, it was,
we were at double support,
double support, so that wasn't it.
Like I said, that's why I need to go figure out exactly where it is, because I'm just not, I'm drawing a blank. But there was a shift that happened during that period of time when there were no games and we were waiting for the clashes, and that's when Tempest couldn't, they haven't clicked since then. So I stand by that. That's what's doing him in. But my problem is now I'm
in for the clash, and that's when Tempest started to lose, because Tempest had dominated before Maiev. After Maiev, Tempest is really starting to fall off. But I agree with what you say here. Everything else is pretty standard. It's still gonna be. We're still gonna see probably the same top 4 that we saw.
Yes.
At the Clash, at the midseason brawl. I don't think anyone from the bottom 4 is going to knock out Blossom. I still think that Tempest, Ballistics, and KSV are the top 3. There's hope, maybe, that there'll be some kind of shakeup. There's hope that maybe Miracle, has anyone ever talked about how bad Miracle got screwed by the KSV acquisition?
By the KSV acquisition?
Because that was a screw job. They were sponsored. They were a sponsored team, and they didn't get sponsored when KSV acquired MVP.
They got hosed. They definitely got hosed.
MVP made out like bandits.
Yes, they did.
MVP Black made out like bandits. MVP Miracle got hosed.
Oh, no, not the players.
No, but
the organization.
The org itself made out,
Yeah.
So I do, you're right. And I was thinking it was Maiev, but I couldn't remember if Maiev came out pre-Clash or not. That's where I was going blank. It's that meta shift that has totally hosed Tempest. That bothers me as a fan of a team. I want the team to be able to play in other metas and be strong. And I think that's why I keep blindly picking them, which is killing me. But when we get to our picks for this week, you'll see that I had to pick ways I didn't necessarily want to.
Yep.
All right, let's go over to EU, because I think a lot of interesting things happened in.
LiQuid read my article last week and they took it to heart. I have been privately and somewhat publicly floating the theory that Team LiQuid is cursed in Heroes of the Storm. That they are a cursed organization. That they have constantly gone out of their way. Look at some of the teams they lost to in 2016, just trying to get qualified. It's a comedy of errors, and they just absolutely decided to expose Tricked and expose Method as being inconsistent. Method coming back against Zealots completely unexpected, and we need to talk about Zealots, but we'll hold on to it for a moment. But LiQuid is my favorite team in Europe. They've been my favorite team since my Insanity. They were my favorite team while they were Misfits. They're my favorite team now. I will go out and buy a LiQuid jersey if I can. But they are so sketchy when it gets to the big stage.
Yes.
And they dominated the first part of Phase 1 last year. They went to the Clash. They got crushed heading into the finals. I don't remember the exact scores. I can look it up, but I'm being lazy. And they didn't win. I was like, LiQuid's going to win. They dominated this whole. No, Fnatic and Dignitas showed up, and Dignitas won the Clash. And LiQuid, I still don't. I want my heart so desperate, just like you and BTG. My heart wants to believe in LiQuid. I don't believe in LiQuid. I want to believe in LiQuid. I think that this is just Tricked and Method are more inconsistent than we're going to give them credit for, and that's the real story here. LiQuid getting the wins is great because it puts them at the top of that middle, which makes them better positioned to get that 4th spot for the mid-season brawl. But I don't believe in them yet because I'll believe it when they play another team lower down and they don't hand them the game.
So, go ahead,
well,
Max.
I'm going to say I believe in LiQuid. And because Liquipedia is a fantastic site and has all the information I need in front of me, I'm gonna use a little bit of evidence to back it up. All right. Now I haven't been able to watch as many of the games as I would have liked. I saw them almost beat Dig, but ultimately lose in that reverse.
That was
but
a great game too.
I did not get to see them play this past weekend. I had to work all weekend. It was terrible. I don't want to talk about it. But that being said, here's the thing. LiQuid, since post-Clash, is the second best team in Europe. They are tied with Fnatic and Zealots at 2-1, but they have the best map record. And they have played tougher opponents than Fnatic and Zealots and Method have. The other teams that are vying for that spot behind Dig. They have played Dig, they have played Tricked, and they have played Method. Whereas Fnatic has feasted on weaker opponents like Diamond Skin, and they have feasted on and they have also played, Tricked. So they have that in common. Zealots are also sitting at 2-1, losing to Method, a team that LiQuid has beaten. They have beaten the Leftovers, which is, you're beating the Leftovers. You're beating arguably the worst team in Europe. That's not something to brag about. And then they've also beaten Diamond Skin.
Leftovers are the worst team.
So, and then they've also beaten Diamond Skin, which is not another weaker team in Europe. So, looking against, and then Method has a losing record. Method is 1-2 with a 6-6 map record. So, post Clash, LiQuid has, I think, made it clear that it's a much improved team, and I don't want to put the little badge of second best team in Europe on them yet. I don't want to pin that on them yet, but I think that they've made major improvements, and there's an argument to be made that maybe they're the third best team in Europe. Maybe they're maybe they are going to go to the mid-season brawl. Only the top 3 get to go, but
nope, 4.
They're in the hunt.
Yeah.
Top 4.
Top 4.
They won Clash. Top 4.
I think
That's how that works.
Yeah. No, 3 from NA.
Spot.
4 from EU. It's 16 teams total at mid-season brawl.
Mid-season brawl, I was under the impression it's 12 teams, and BlizzCon is 16.
16.
And
they're both 16.
All right. I'm going to double check that because I'm pretty sure it's 12.
The benefit of winning the Clash is that your region gets an extra spot.
Yeah. Yes, that. All right. So while you look that up, we're going to cover the rest of EU. First of all, you suck for picking the Method beating Zealots as your clips, because I love Zealots, and those games were painful to watch. I don't know what happened to Zealots this weekend. I really don't.
Here's the thing with Zealots, and this is the thing we need to remember. When you have ADRD, sometimes it's genius and sometimes it blows up in your face.
Right.
There's a reason he is the mad scientist. And so you can explain Zealots like that. Zealots almost misses the clash. They make the clash. They get 2-0 by Tempo Storm. They fight all the way back in and almost beat Dignitas. That's Zealots. Zealots is the swingiest team in EU. When they are good, they're great. When they are screwing up, you have ADRD, and he didn't do this on Zealots. He did this last year an Expert, which is now Method, drafting Gazlaw.
Look at
ADRD his ideas work sometimes.
Yeah. It was just a bummer that this weekend was when it got blown up. Bahgz was right. It is 12 teams. He did find it and post it. So you got to be top 3 in Europe to make it.
Does that mean only top 2 in NA go?
Yep,
correct.
top 2 in NA.
That's because last year it was top 2 from each region. Only Tempo Storm and Team 8 went. That was before they became Roll 20. They became Roll 20 over the break, actually. So they right after they got there, Roll 20, and then it was like they had one of each. What's the word I'm looking for? One from each minor region.
Yeah, right. All right,
so
and
2
then
from each major
that
region.
changes a lot of what I've got to say about NA then. So
how does everybody feel about Tricked? Because they look like a disaster right now.
Tricked is done. They need to blow that team up.
Okay.
I don't know what they need to do, but they get to drop 3 people. They need to drop 3 people and find 3 new ones. I think that you keep Alex, and I think you keep Athero, and I think you just drop everybody else and start over from scratch. Tricked should be more consistent.
Right.
And I'm always shocked that they're not. But I think they're done. I think Leftovers could beat Tricked right now.
Okay. All right.
I don't think Leftovers is a better team.
You think they can beat Tricked though? Yeah. No, I get it. Let's jump into the disaster that is NA, which completely blew my points away this week, where Team 12. So I saw the set with GFE, and it was actually a really close set, the 3-2 set.
That was the best set of the weekend.
Yes, they struggled. 100% they struggled, which was crazy. But Team 12 struggled against GFE, which I didn't expect to happen. But then I missed this game, read the scoreline, and went, what the hell did I miss? Heroes Hearth beating Team 12.
Popping off on Team 12. Heroes Hearth is for real. And it is scary how good they have gotten. They seem to have spent their entire time at Western Clash just taking notes. And they brought those notes back.
I should point out that when my wife and I were going to sit down to watch Team 12 versus Heroes Hearth, I was going to be rooting for Heroes Hearth, and she was going to be rooting for Team 12 because she's Team 12 through and through. And Heroes Hearth is like, I have been excited about them since they formed in Open Division before they were, it wasn't HHE, right? It was, oh my God, why am I going blank on this? Anyway, they had a team in Open Division. I've held it down. Followed them then they became HHE. I was super excited that Heroes Hearth was going to sponsor an Open Division team, especially one that looked like they were going to the Crucible. Then they went to the Crucible. Then they got in. Like I've been high on Heroes Hearth since the beginning. And especially how they came together, right? I feel like McIntyre got screwed. I feel like Crowan got screwed getting kicked off. That is not what should have happened there. Like, I'm a Heroes Hearth fanboy, probably more than any other team. But I did not expect that. In fact, I picked Team 12 to win that 3-2, even though I know Heroes Hearth is my team. And that's not the way it went down. Heroes Hearth looked great. Heroes Hearth looked phenomenal.
They are going to be a serious threat for the top spot in next phase. They're not there yet. Arthelon is the MVP of the league right now because he is covering up for so many of their weaknesses by screwing the minds of the opponents.
You just broke Schizo.
I broke Schizo.
Oh God, yeah, you did.
You probably.
He just
did.
doesn't know it yet. Once Twitch catches up,
Yeah,
he's gonna be broken.
Give him the second
Okay.
for it to catch up.
Oh God.
Well, no,
right.
I don't know. They're a good team. I look forward to watching them play every weekend. And they're getting it done, right? Like they did against Team 12 in a way that I didn't expect.
Yep.
Any other NA thoughts before we go over the meta?
Oh, we'll talk about them when we get to the picks.
Okay. All right.
But we'll talk about them when we get to the picks.
That works.
Sorry,
All right.
Schizo. Sorry. I have no idea who you are, but I'm very sorry I've upset you. But I love Arthelon from his sexy pose to his Junkrat hopping. He's amazing. He's the best.
So I'm on board. If I was gonna replace one person on Heroes Hearth, first I wouldn't, because I think the team gels really well together.
Keep that team together.
But if I was going to, it would be him, and I'll just leave that at that. I could be wrong.
And I can understand that. I'm not disagreeing with that particular analysis, because there's an argument to be made that if the person that you got on the team is the most flexible, Arthelon's playing like 20 heroes. Mm-hmm. He's definitely the one who's contributing the least. He's definitely the one who's most prone to mistakes. But he turns those mistakes into awesome. And as a viewer, I love that. Arthelon, all right. I love you. I really do.
That's fair. That's actually fair. I can dig that. All right. Let's get into some meta. Chinese meta doesn't really have anything interesting that I wanted to break out right now. So we're going to just skip over China.
Jump the Bush meta.
Right? That would be great. Jump into NA, where, you know what? I'm going to let you cover this, Bahgz, because you actually did the notes this time.
Go for it.
Okay. I also have a link for the widest hero pool players in North America through both parts of through all of 2018 so far, and Arthelon does sit at the top with 18. So damn close, and damn close. That was good. That was good. I'm gonna post that in chat right now. That was good. All right.
Well, the 20 was what the casters said, so I just went with it.
Nah, I just like that it was pretty much spot on as far as I'm concerned. All right. In North America, these are just funny notes and factoids, guys. These are things I thought were interesting, so I'm bringing them to the fan base to share with you. Medivh is broken in North America. The dude has an 85% win rate and is banned 84% of the time. So, like, he has a 100% pick ban rate right now in North America, and when he does show up, that team wins the game pretty much. That's what that means. And also Garrosh. So like last week we talked about how we were in like a Blaze Tyrael meta, and we're seeing Blaze and Tyrael as the two warriors in all the games. Well, yeah, you know what? 1 week was all it took. Garrosh is the most popular tank now. Turns out he's more popular than both Tyrael and Blaze all of a sudden.
This meta is amazing, because Medivh is the answer to we miss double support.
Yes.
Because Medivh is the second support that you actually want, because he breaks the game. And somewhere in a dark corner in Arizona, John Jagger is weeping because he hates Medivh so much. He has gone off so many times on how much he hates when Medivh is picked in the game. But Medivh needs to be addressed, because this is not good. I enjoy it because I love Medivh games, but this is a problem.
Yeah. Those numbers are definitely a problem.
But that's the thing. So here's what's interesting. As we shift over to EU, I don't really see it that way over in EU. He's got
a 40. Have as many Medivh players in EU.
He's got a 47% win rate. He's got a 43% ban rate. He's not played as much in EU. Instead, in EU, the player.
Wait, hold on.
Okay,
wait. Because I want to touch on that first. Isn't ADRD a crazy Medivh player? Or am I remembering that wrong?
Yes, but he's the only one. He's like the only one in EU who's a super crazy Medivh player. We've got several super crazy Medivh players here in NA.
I think Schwimpy would like to bust out some highlights from BlizzCon about him just styling all over Tempo Storm. I remember
that was not good. I do remember that. That was not good.
But it was funny, I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with BM. BM makes us all. Oh, wait, you're talking about bad manners. Never mind.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead and go over the EU favorite. My girl.
But in EU, Sonya, they love Sonya, and I love Sonya, and you love Sonya. So we've got that in common with EU LiQuiud. She's got a 95% popularity rate, which is pick ban. But she doesn't get banned a lot. She actually gets picked in 75% of games. So in 3/4 of your EU games, Sonya is there in the solo lane, splitting heads. So. Unfortunately, sitting at roughly a 50% win rate at 48%, so just below 50%, but
she's in a good spot.
Balanced.
She's in a good spot. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other interesting thing I found about EU is they love, I shouldn't say love, but of all the regions, they actually enjoy Volsky. It's their 3rd most played map. It's been played 7 times. Every other region doesn't really touch it. Korea's played it 0 times. China has only played it once. NA's played it 4 times, which makes it the 2nd most region. But it's a pretty low priority as far as map picks go in our region.
I think NA bans it a lot. Because
NA tends to ban Volskaya and Braxis.
Right. That's what I'm remembering, and I don't have it up right now, so I'm not going to try and find the right way to query that off of Master League, but I'm pretty sure it's because we ban it all the time here.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only thing I just wanted to note was just I thought it was interesting that EU likes to play it a lot. So
yeah, no, it is interesting. It's definitely cool that EU plays it, because I would expect them to skip it way more. But now thinking back, I do see a lot of Volskaya games in EU when I watch. So yeah, that is pretty cool.
And the last thing I wanted to touch on is in Korea, they, NA has Medivh, and Korea's, still playing Maiev.
You know why?
She's picked or banned in 100% of games, despite the fact that she has a 42% win rate.
You know why? So they can beat Tempest. That's all right. Man.
Yep. All right. Yep. You can. Normally, you wear your tinfoil hat on the Nexus trolls, and not here. But your blinders are on full blast right now, and the LiQuiud Tempest Kool-Aid.
Here's the thing. Metas move at different rates depending on who's playing and how they're playing in different places. And so Maiev has some problems because in some ways she is still broken. There are ways in which Maiev, look at the way that Michael Udall has been playing Maiev in NA, and you can see she is still incredibly dangerous, and you have to deal with a Maiev comp, and you have to nip that in the bud against certain teams. I think that Korea just hasn't gone off the Maiev swing like everybody else has yet. I think that they're going to catch up to that before we get them in season brawl.
Well,
it might just be this is a character that they like.
North America is still playing a lot of Maiev. I just thought it was interesting that Korea, literally, she is either picked or banned in every single game.
That's how you beat them, man.
So, hey, totally. I agree.
Let them pick them, beat them.
Right. All right, let's jump into some picks, shall we? All right. Previewing all the games coming up this weekend. All times are in Eastern Daylight Time like normal. So we're going to go ahead and start with Korea. We have KSV Black taking on Blossom. Bahgz, you're calling this one a 3-1 with KSV Black winning, while myself and Anne Elise say 3-0. You think Blossom's going to take a game off Black, huh?
Yeah, certainly. They took a game off Ballistics. Why not Black?
All right. Fair. Okay. And then
I think Blossom is possibly taking a game off of Black, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I think it's harder to 3-0 than it is to win 3-1, and I think 3-1's more like the more likely outcome. So that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're playing.
And there's a reason why I'm in second place.
I knew that was coming. All right.
Pump yourself up a little bit more, Bahgz.
You know why you're in second place? Because I keep going with Fnatic and Tempest, dude. When will I learn?
Free doesn't hurt me yet.
I will this weekend. All right, jumping into the 6 a.m. Korean game on Friday, we have Felice versus Ace. Bahgz, you have Ace winning 3-2. Anne Elise and I have Felice winning 3-2. It's a bottom of the rank thing. It's gonna be if you like watching some crazy stuff, watch that. Bottom of the Korean bracket always brings out something weird, and usually goes 5 games. It's a shame to me that it's not reversed, because I like the series that's going to go 5 games to be first, because then I can wake up and watch the second series and not miss anything without getting up at, the crack of dawn.
You
jumping.
don't get up at 4 o'clock every morning?
No, I used to. I can't anymore. It was killing me. My brain was not functional. So now I just, when I get up, I start the, I go back to the beginning of the VOD and watch it. I know. All right, Europe. Starting at noon on Friday, we have Fnatic versus Method. This is one of my games to watch. I think it's going to be interesting, and I think Fnatic's going to get a win, and you guys both agree with me. Bahgz and I saying 3-2, Anne Elise, you saying 3-1. Fnatic is going to take Method.
Method's going to get a win.
No, Fnatic.
No.
Give it backwards.
Oh, I meant a map win.
Oh, yeah. A map win. Map win. Yeah.
I actually wanted to go 3-0 on this because I really think that Fnatic is going to come together, and I think that Method is probably slightly overrated. So yes. I really wanted to go just Fnatic 3-0, but Method does still have a lot going for them, and so they will get a map off of them.
If there's two teams in HGC that I just can't handle, it's Method in EU and Simplicity in NA. Which is just, it's a personal thing. I don't know what it is, but something like in me, it's oil and water with those two. But all right,
it goes all the way back to all those times that Method beat up Blood Legion at the raid race at the BlizzCon. You just can't let it go, can you?
Maybe that's actually a possibility. 2 p.m. Eastern on Friday, we have Diamond Skin versus Dignitas. Everybody knows Dig is winning that, but Bahgz and I have that being a 3-0, and you have it being a 3-1. I don't know if Diamond Skin can tape
on lower teams.
Yeah,
Dig
but
sweeps on lower teams.
All right, that's fair.
I would love it if Dig would approach the lower teams the way they approach the top teams, but they'll get 2 wins and Snitch will get crazy and they'll drop a map and they'll come back and crush them in 10 minutes in the third game and the fourth game.
All right,
because they will use that third game. They're like, we've got this. Well, let's try something we haven't tried before and see what happens. So I think Dig will use that game 3 as practice.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
It's not that Diamond Skin's good. It's that Dig is going to say, hey, we've got a game to blow here. Let's blow a game.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And then over in NA, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern, another game of mine that I think you should watch: Team 12 versus Tempo Storm. Now, take this with a grain of salt. I think Team 12 had an off weekend last weekend, and they're going to come right back the way they were in week 6. So they're going to do good. I am the only one picking Team 12 to win this, 3-2. Yeah. I think it goes 5. But you both have Tempo Storm winning. Bahgz, you're at 3-1. Anne Elise, you're at 3-0.
I didn't get to see the games, but the results that I saw scare me. And Tempo Storm's been playing really well since the clash. And Team 12, just absolutely laying a goose egg last weekend. They might win a map, but I can't see them winning the series. And I think Tempo Storm's going to win it pretty handily.
Okay. Anne Elise, any thoughts?
I think right now you're seeing Tempo Storm approach what we'll call for the, I hate that I'm going to use this reference. We're seeing Tempo Storm approach Super Saiyan level 3. Their hair is growing longer, and you're about to see the real gelling of the 3 most impactful damage dealers in NA in Glaurung, Fan, and Psalm, and they're just going to destroy Team 12. Team 12 is very good. I love Team 12. I love Team 12 for the future. They're going to be competitive at the midseason brawl. Tempo Storm is going to surprise us as these three players who have very similar hero pools continue to learn to play together. This is the most dangerous team NA has put together ever. And it's scary good how good they can be. My only problem with Team 12, and this is where I'm probably going to be wrong, and my only problem with Tempo Storm, this is where I'm probably going to be wrong. Team 12 will take a map off of them. I'm not changing my score, though. Tempo Storm doesn't know when to retreat. Yes. Tempo Storm overplays their hand over and over and over again, and they lose games that they should not have lost. Go back to Phase 1, rewatch their set between Heroes Hearth. They lost a map in that set that they had dominated the entire game because they couldn't let it go. That much aggression from Fan Som and Glaurung is the only thing that can undo them. Cattle has to get them under control and get the shot calling down so that Tempo Storm retreats when it's time to retreat. If they start doing that, they're not going to drop another map.
Okay. So here's my theory, and I think you guys are. I think you guys could be correct, but my theory is that Team 12 is going to punish Tempo Storm for doing something silly, and this will start the long downhill climb of Tempo Storm, in that they have 3 of the best damage dealers in NA, but they have 3 of the largest personalities in NA as well, and the friction begins after this weekend when Team 12 punishes.
Okay, this is the second time you've done it, and I'm going to keep correcting podcasts on it. That was a hypothesis.
Oh, yeah, I know. I said a theory again, didn't I? Or something.
Yes.
I don't. Yeah.
And
all right.
it's not really so much a hypothesis; it's a wish. You're wishing this would happen.
I'm wishing it. Yep.
I'm telling you that when you look at Glaurung, a player who you could previously target back in 2016 and even part of 2017, he's grown up. He's matured. His ego is in check. And I really think this is Cattle's team.
I you know what? Honestly, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. And yes, I did use the word downhill climb.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I hope you're right,
okay,
because
you're still the boss.
I would love to see Tempo Storm do well. I would love to, like we said it at the beginning of the season when the roster was unveiled. I would love to see that team gel and work that well together. And maybe that's what'll happen this weekend. Maybe that's exactly what we'll get. And I will eat my I didn't get any points for this pick. And then I'll be on the honestly I think they're a great team. I just Tempo Storm.
I do want to say one other thing that's really important to this match, and we need to watch it for the future. Cure versus Glaurung in the solo lane. That's going to be the part that we want to have the camera on the whole time. If Cure is solo laning against Glaurung, I'm paying that much attention to it. That's going to be really interesting. Because Cure is not the best player in NA, but he will be one day. Whether it's later this year or next year, Cure is going to be someone to really be watching for. How does he play against a hyper-aggressive person like either Glaurung or Som? How is he going to handle that? That's what I want to see.
Also, Puppy's Welcome is saying that according to Som, the series will be on ORD1, which is a terrible ping for them. So that could also cause issues and help Team 12.
My pick here is probably wrong, but I'm still staying with it.
All right, so let's go to the other game, which I'm also super excited for, and this is where I catch Bahgz in the points. 7 p.m. Eastern.
Sorry.
She meant Goku. 7 p.m. Eastern, Friday night, Heroes Hearth versus Team Freedom. I'm picking Freedom to win. Or wait, no. What is wrong with me? Bahgz is picking Freedom to win 3-2. I'm picking Heroes Hearth to win 3-2. I think it'll be close. Anne Elise is saying Heroes Hearth sweeps them 3-0.
Listen, I think giving Heroes Hearth 2 maps is a sign of my respect for how much better they're playing and how little weaker Team Freedom has looked. But I don't see it happening. Not yet.
Dude. All right, this is your Team 12. For me, right? Yeah, this is your Team 12, buddy.
At least
I
don't have a Tempest and Fnatic to
damn!
Also sandbag my points. All right,
Shots
I only have
fired.
one team.
Shots fired. All right, that's fair.
I think Team Freedom is in trouble. I don't know what they need to do, but I'm very concerned about Team Freedom. I'm very concerned about where they are as a team. And I think that Heroes Hearth is clicking on all cylinders. And I think that it's really, really scary going to this. We need Team Freedom to have a better showing than I think they're going to have. But I really am afraid for just how dangerous Heroes Hearth is looking.
Heroes Hearth's going to the Clash. Or the
Absolutely.
Brawl. I don't know who
They're
the second team is going to be. Heroes Hearth is going to Brawl. I am calling that now.
There's only 2 teams that can go.
It probably will be Tempo. But I'm hoping for a Heroes Hearth Team 12.
They have.
Tempo's going to the broth. There's no problem about
They're
it.
locked in pretty much. Like
All
I
right,
don't know where.
See, now this is when we need
It's like it
DB
comes down to
Smiley.
Team Heroes Earth and Team 12, and that's it.
I
Like,
want numbers, man. I want percentages.
We'll get DB on after week 9, before week 10, and we'll crunch it.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll get them on
Anyways,
before.
this is gonna be a great weekend for NA because both
Yes.
these matches are gonna be amazing. They're either gonna be the blowouts I'm predicting, or they're gonna be the closest, tightest games we've seen.
Yes, I can't wait. And that's only Friday.
Either way, it's gonna be amazing.
Now we got to go into Saturday. All right, so I'll just be up front with everybody. Saturday, I didn't find any games. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this. So
You're not
Saturday,
excited for Miracle versus Team Ace?
no, I'm not.
Oh, God.
So Saturday, 4 a.m. Eastern, we have Felice versus Tempest.
Can
We
you
all,
explain
Where's your faith? Where's
Felice?
your faith in Tempest? What is wrong with you, LiQuiud? 2-3? 2-3? You think
All right.
Tempest is gonna drop 2 maps to
Explain that.
Belize?
all right, so
No faith. No faith.
This is from the Tempest man.
I told you my faith has been shaken, and this is the proof. We all have Tempest winning. For some reason, I put down Tempest. I was feeling really down when I filled out my picks yesterday.
Oh, really?
And I put Tempest down 3-2. I would change it, but I am honoring the sanctity of the challenge that we're running. So I will not be changing my pick. It's staying at 3-2.
LiQuid, I'm going into your account. I'm taking away your Tempest mount because you don't have any faith.
3-3. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Then at 6 a.m. Eastern, we have Miracle versus Team Ace. We all have Miracle winning that. I said 3-2, but both you and Bahgz have it as a 3-1. I don't think there's anything special there. Over in EU, we have at noon Eastern, Tricked Esports versus Leftovers. This one got a little interesting. Bahgz is picking Leftovers to win 3-2. And you're picking Leftovers to win 3-1. I'm picking Tricked to win 3-1. I think Tricked is on their decline, but I'm going to guess that they're going to drop at least one map to Leftovers. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to see Leftovers do better. Lauber's been on the show. Good guy, good team.
I have no faith in Tricked anymore. Tricked is a team that I've been waiting for a year and a half to turn on. I've been waiting for a year and a half for this core to come to some kind of place. They have one of the most impactful players in EU, in Alex Aprogi, and they cannot seem to get it together, and I cannot understand why. I watch the drafts, I'm like, okay, this should be pretty good, and then I watch their games, and they lose games they should win.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what needs to be done. That's why I said blow it up. I think Leftovers is done. Keep two players and get rid of the other 3. Even if they're good players, Leftovers is going to take Tricked 3-1.
We'll see. It's gonna be it'll be an interesting game. 2 p.m. Eastern, we have Team LiQuiud versus Diamond Skin. We all picked LiQuiud to win.
Where's your
Bahgz and I
faith,
both.
Bahgz? You said you had the faith in LiQuid. Where's your faith?
Yeah, you're not
do.
3-0 man. No 3-0 though.
3-1. I think that's fair.
Well, it's like the dig
Again.
3-1, right? You have a game to lose. You might you try something a little weird. Like that's I can get behind a 3-1.
No, I just think I don't think Diamond Skin's that bad. I just I think they're good enough to take a game off LiQuid, but I think LiQuid's going to win fairly handily for the most part, 3-1.
All right, and over in NA, 5 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, we have Gale Force Esports versus LFM Esports. All right. Hero Physio. I apologize. First of all, Bahgz is on your side. He's got LFM winning 3-2. I think Gale Force is going to wake up after this weekend and win 3-1. Anne Elise has Gale Force winning 3-0. I see where your pick is coming from, though, Bahgz. I just don't agree with it.
The last time, let me drop an esports knowledge bomb on you guys. The last time LFM faced off against Gale Force Esports on January 27th of 2018, they won 3-2. So I felt confident in my opinion and my justification
here's
of picking them to win 3-2 again.
With this, Gale Force has woken up. Gale Force is scary.
I counter that with LFM is
right
playing a lot better now than they were even then.
And they are absolutely. But you know what the difference is? You didn't have Michael Udall playing Myav then. And I think that, and I've never been a big Michael Udall is a great person. He's a wonderful person. I've never seen him as an impactful player, but on Myav, holy hell, was he impactful this last weekend. If they let Myav through, they will find something else. I really think LFM is in trouble, and I really think Gale Force has woken up, and this is going to get bloody. And I don't think LFM is going to survive this very well. I think it's going to be really bad.
Yep, I would agree. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. And then after that, at 7 p.m. Eastern, of course, it's never 7 p.m. Eastern when this game starts. No tomorrow.
Always 8:30.
Right? No tomorrow versus Heroes Hearth. We all have Heroes Hearth winning that. Both Bahgz and I think one game will get dropped, but Heroes Hearth 3-0, 3-1. Either way, they're winning that one.
Yeah, I have no. No tomorrow is my NA team, and I am telling you, oh boy, this.
Right.
Oh, Equinox, play Kerrigan. Just do it. just stop doing any other thing. Just play Kerrigan. I don't care if the map calls for it. Just play Kerrigan. Please, Equinox, please, and also wear the bear hat. Wear the bear hat.
He's got to wear the bear hat. That's just how it works. All right, let's jump over to
bear pictures. My wife is going to come after him.
That's a good point. Let's jump over to Sunday, because Sunday we have 3 games that are going to be great games. Starting in Korea, this is not one of them. 4 a.m. Eastern, we have Team Ballistics versus Gluck. Now, depending on how you look at what happened with Tempest last week, maybe you want to watch this one because maybe Gluck will get lucky. But 4 a.m. Eastern, we both have, or all 3 of us have Ballistics winning this. Bahgz is at 3-1, and we both think it's going to be 3-0. That'll be interesting. Then we have 6 a.m. Eastern on Sunday, the Korean match of the weekend. Tempest versus KSV Black. And Bahgz, you asked me where my Tempest love is. All of my Tempest love went right here. I think they're going to take KSV Black here. I have no idea why I put this, and I'm regretting putting it even now.
All right.
But I put it down.
let me try and think about the LiQuiud logic here. Felice, the second worst team in the league, is going to take 2 games off of Tempest because they're not that good. But Tempest is so darn good, they're going to beat KSV Black 3-1. I don't know. Okay. We're cool.
Yeah, dude. You know what?
It's going to be a tight 3-2 game. I'm giving the edge to Tempest because I think that Tempest is going to have this figured out, and I think Tempest is going to be fine. So, LiQuiud, Tempest is going to be fine. Keep the faith. You're going to be okay.
Oh, I'm keeping the faith in Tempest.
Okay.
I just, all right. I should never, ever Bahgz next week. I need you to let me know not to do my picks when I'm distracted so that I can be consistent with my picks. I need you to help me with that. All right. But definitely check that game out.
Last minute.
Definitely check that game out. It's going to be a good game. And then at noon Eastern, we have my EU game of Sunday to watch. Fnatic versus Team Zealots. Now, I really struggled with this one because I love Fnatic, but I also love Zealots. And I went Zealots, which is the same thing Bahgz did with the 3-2 win. Anne Elise picked Fnatic to win at 3-1. Either way, that game is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, we're going to find out if Zealots losing last week was just an aberration or if it was a sign of bigger things to come for them. And we're going to see where Fnatic stands. They haven't really played a lot of tough, stiff competition in these past 2 weeks, so this is going to be a good test for them.
Yeah,
I'm concerned about Zealots this meta. I find there's a lot of things about Zealots from last week to really be concerned about, and I think Fnatic has almost got it figured out. Not quite, but they're close.
Right.
And so if ADRD's concoctions are off slightly, as I think they're going to be, Fnatic is going to punish them.
Yeah.
Fnatic is absolutely going to punish them. If ADRD is on, flip the script and it's 3-1 Zealots. And he's a person when you point at the entire team is about him. It's also about Shad.
Right.
If Fnatic bans Stukov every single game, and this is one of those times where you can actually say ban Stukov first, because that really puts Shad in a bind. When Shad is not playing Stukov, Zealots is in trouble.
Yep.
And that's the thing that if Fnatic starts targeting Shad and they can muck with ADRD, Fnatic can bring this together. But I want Zealots to win. I'm just thinking that Fnatic is better right now.
Right. It's gonna be yes. It's gonna be interesting. I think this weekend is gonna tell us where Zealots ends up, because I don't think there's gonna be a large change to the meta until mid-season brawl at this rate. So we are where we are.
Next week. Next week when Phoenix is in the game.
You'll see Phoenix as an assassin, but I don't feel like the meta itself is going to shift that much. Right? So you'll still have the same kind of playstyle. It's just Phoenix will replace other assassins. I don't know. You could be right. But I think the overall meta stays the same. We just see a difference in assassin pick. But maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe Tempest will get their shit together once Phoenix is released. 2 p.m. Eastern. We have Method versus Dignitas. Nothing to see here. Keep moving on. We all have Dig winning.
Oh, you're not going to punish me for my consistency here?
No. Because honestly, Method could do something strange, and it's very likely that they could get a 3-2. Well, they'll still lose, but Dig will end up in a 3-2. Because at the end of the day, I think Dig will turn it on when they need to. Over in NA, we have Team 12 versus Simplicity. Even with the changes they made, all of us agree Team 12 wins. Bahgz and I are at 3-1. You see Team 12 sweeping. Then
I have a lot of NA sweeps.
You do have a lot of NA sweeps. This is the only one I really don't think is possible, though.
I have all NA sweeps. Wow.
I don't know what to say here, Bahgz, because at 7 p.m. Eastern, the last game of the weekend, we have Tempo Storm versus Freedom, and Bahgz picked Tempo Storm to win. What happened?
I think that Tempo Storm is really, really good. And even my Team Freedom bias isn't strong enough to overcome how well Tempo Storm is playing.
Yeah.
So giving Team Freedom 2 games, I think, is pretty fair.
All right. I think it's 3-1. I think Tempo Storm almost gets the sweep. And Anne Elise, you have Tempo Storm sweeping.
Oh yeah, I think that right now Tempo is going to roll downhill, and I've already said I don't think they're dropping another set. I think that if they can get that one little thing latched down, and just stop being over aggressive, be as aggressive as you need to be, then get out. If they do that, this is going to be scary all the rest of this phase.
So just to recap. Games to watch this weekend. Friday at 12 Eastern, we have Fnatic Method. At 5 Eastern, we have Team 12 Tempo Storm. And at 7 Eastern, Heroes Hearth, versus Team Freedom. And then Sunday at 6 a.m. Eastern, Tempest versus KSV Black. Noon Eastern, we have Fnatic versus Zealots. And 7 p.m. Eastern, we have Tempo Storm versus Freedom. Results. Currently, Bahgz is ahead of me with 57 points, but I'm only down by 6. I'm at 51 points. I forgot who it was, but do you remember who was in the lead? Because now I'm going blank. That's a no. All right, let me just check real fast, because I just want to give credit where credit is due. We do currently have Fringe Average in first place, and Bahgz in second, followed by Wonderbread X in third place. Bahamut Gaming was unseated, and I'm in fifth. So definitely check out trolls.gg/challenge. Get your picks in. Winner at the end of this phase, before the midseason brawl, will get a $20 BattleNet gift card. All right. How about some amateurs? You guys want to do a little bit of amateur stuff?
Yeah, let's talk about it. It was kind of a big weekend big weekend.
Yeah. All right. Let's go over it.
Here goes
And the mastermind storm is
awaiting them.
welcome to the paint train.
Kill the boss! Kill the boss! Can't they do it? It's too much damage for me! And that's GG!
All right, so EU Open Division playoffs currently going on. Oh my God, they've been crazy. Granite Gaming versus Go in the first round. Granite disconnected, played with a bot for the end of the first game and lost, and then their player could not reconnect in time. They had to forfeit game number 2 and got knocked down to the losers bracket. But you know what they said? They said, screw this. We are going to the Crucible. And they have won the last 3 sets in a row, setting them up so that they can take on that Crucible spot. They have a game tomorrow against Team Singularity, and winner of that gets the Crucible spot. So already through is Worst Positioning. Worst Positioning knocked out Team Singularity today, setting up that losers bracket final with Granite versus Team Singularity. Whoever wins that goes into a weighted best of 7 against Team Singularity to get to find out who gets to pick their opponent, right? Winner of that says, I want to play number 7 or number 8. It's their choice. It was the games today were, I only caught the last set, Team Singularity versus Worst Positioning, but Worst Positioning was like, yo, this is our game and we're taking it. And they won 3-0. They 3-0'd Singularity. And Singularity, if you remember, has looked really good through most of the EU Open Division. But they got spanked by Worst Positioning today. So tomorrow's game will be good. First setup is Granite versus Singularity, and then winner of that takes on Worst Positioning for the number 1 seed.
It should be noted that Sonic LeBeast from the sub for Quackmix, that plays for Worst Positioning. So
Yes,
for the guy
yes,
from the
he
Clash,
does.
the sub from the Clash for Fnatic plays for Worst Positioning and competing for that HGC spot. So
And has consistently been looked at as one of the MVP candidates as he's played in Open Division.
Yep.
So, good stuff there. NA Open Division playoffs continue tonight. XD also went through getting bit by the Disconnect Goblins. They lost to the number 8 Gazwa for the same reason. Had to play with a bot. Then player couldn't get reconnected in time. All of a sudden, XD is down in the loser bracket. And then they got, if I remember correctly, eliminated after that. Also, Rosette O and Area Please, both favorites. Area Please used to be SMV, used to be Monkus, now Area Please. Both got eliminated. We're both actually good-looking teams and should have gotten further than they did. Coming up tonight, we have EID versus King's Gambit. King's Gambit actually looks insanely good right now. So it'll be interesting to see how they do and what they get done, but they look really good. Those are the E-Boys on King's Gambit. They're playing tonight. And then, what else? One of those teams will actually end up with the Crucible spot. And then our own Super Dave feels like King's Gambit and XD will be the 2 NA teams to go to the Crucible. But having said that, remember that his bracket got completely destroyed last night.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the games we got to look forward to tonight are EID, King's Gambit, Trait Value versus XD, Gazwa versus Team Nightcare. So it's not, XD still got a shot. They're not completely out of it yet.
No, they have a shot. They definitely have a shot. Awesome. So that's Open Division looking. Everybody looks really good right now, though. And Dave in chat, I blame the internet and any team that has Stray on it. So there you go.
Stray has actually blocked me on Twitter because I posted that clip from Bloodlust last year where Zoya said Stray sucks, and that
got you blocked.
That got me blocked. Well, that also got me blocked because I was very vocal about the way that Stray had Faye kicked off the team 15 minutes before the deadline.
That is like, we have talked about that in this show so many. I am like, out of all the people that were kicked off teams, that one pisses me off the most.
Yep.
Oh my God, that one pisses me off.
You don't get to do economic harm to someone that I really, really care about. Read my article this week on trolls.gg and not have me hate you.
Yes.
So with absolute no shame, I hate Stray, and I'm glad he blocked me.
So on a different topic, some tweets just went out, and Heroes Hype channel is going to have Trait Value versus XD, and we're actually going to host them right at the end of the show. So we'll jump you guys over to that game right after this. Definitely check it out. It's going to be insanely good. The rest of the games.
It's a Trait Value versus XD. What's great about it is it's got Iacona and Stray on Trait Value, and then on XD you've got Talking Trees, Hami, and Tiger JK. So you're looking at a lot of former pros kind of competing against each other, which is interesting because it's not, only one team's. It's in the losers bracket. Only one team is going to be able to, compete. Further compete in the tournament and fight for that crucible spot. So it's not a guarantee for all these former HGC players to, re-qualify for the HGC.
Go XD.
Someone will be out, and I'm hoping it's Trait Value.
Go XD.
For lots of different reasons. That roster has been, we're gonna move on.
I love Iacona still, but go XD.
Yep. All right, over to Heroes of the Dorm. We are in the round of 32. I love it. Still moving on. Survival guides linked in the show notes. Round of 32 starts tomorrow night. We do have a group for your Heroes of the Dorm brackets. Join it. See how you do against other trolls. Trolls.gg/HOTD. Currently, Dunkstick sitting at number 1. Merce at number 2. Bahgz still ahead of me in every competition we seem to do at number 3. And I'm rounding out our group in number 4. So definitely check that out. Links to that in the show notes or trolls.gg/HOTD. Cool.
And I'm way, way down to the bottom for failing to fill out my bracket.
You gotta fill it out to play.
Sorry.
It's all
That's
good.
So bad. I can't believe I missed that.
It happens.
Brackets are tough. You only get a couple days to fill out the bracket before the tournament starts. Same thing happens every year with the NCAA tournament for me, it seems like. Last years I haven't even made a bracket because by the time I thought about it, it was like, oh, well, tournament started.
Yeah, it was too late. Yeah. All right, so man, we're only a minute over, which is pretty good considering we were talking about WoW at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
Well,
I think the preview section went for like a half hour too.
Trolling is the thing that happens here.
It is indeed. All right. Thank you all for listening to Trollin HGC, a weekly podcast about Heroes of the Storm eSports, a member of the Trolls.gg Entertainment Network. We stream live on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TrollsGG, every week on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Anne Elise, where is the best place for people to find you?
The best place for people to find me is at one of my 3 jobs during the week when I'm not on vacation, which I'm fortunately on this week. But other than that, you can follow me at twitter.com/Anne_Elise. That's Anne with an E. If you don't spell Anne with an E, you're a terrible person. All Annes without E's are terrible people. It's ANNE_ELISE. And just go ahead and give me a follow. I won't necessarily follow you back because I'm lazy as all fuck. Sorry about that.
That's all right. No, that one needed that. That one needed that.
So, and that's why when I signed on to this network, I begged LiQuiud to kick my ass and make me actually write stuff and set deadlines. And it didn't happen for months. That's why articles appeared for me very, very sporadically. You can also find my articles. I'm doing the HGC buy or sells for EU and NA, and later this week I'm going to have a drafting guide for bronze, what bronze players need to actually do so I can actually be not toxic when I'm doing my placement games coming up.
Definitely check those out. And yes, you did ask for that. And I'm so glad we have Hoof It now so that somebody is setting deadlines because I suck at it with everything else going on.
Well, you're too nice. You're
I am.
Nice boss, LiQuiud. You stop being so nice. Be meaner.
I get all my meanness at work. All right, Bahgz, where can people find you?
Guys, you can follow me on Twitter at BahgzHGC. You can watch me stream on twitch.tv/Bahgz. As well, if you enjoyed tonight's show or are interested in Blizzard's other esports offerings, consider subscribing to the Weekly Blizz, where my buddy Gwaz and I cover all of Blizzard esports and can be found on all podcast sources. LiQuiud, where can people find you?
So your best bet to find I can talk, I promise people. It's like I do a podcast. The best place to follow me is on Twitter at LiQuiudGG. That's LiQiuDGG. I tweet whenever I'm about to do anything interesting, including this show and the Nexus Trolls. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters, including our chieftain, Super Dave. We are on Patreon at patreon.com/TrollsGG. You can follow us on Twitter at Trollin HGC for show announcements and Heroes of the Storm esports news. Find us on Twitch, twitch.tv/TrollsGG. Subscribe to our show on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a review. We love to hear what people want us to do to improve. Send us some feedback on email, trollin@trolls.gg, or even DM us on Twitter at Trollin HGC. It's always open. Thank you all for listening live. Thank you, chat, for being here and communicating with us and sending us comments. Thank you, everybody, for your continued listening to our show, and we'll see you in the Nexus.
Bye.
I'm muted. Bye.